Fight Chats.
Lekker guys, welcome to our first experiment of, what are we going to call this? Fight Chats. Fight Chats. My name is Rikus, also known as aka Jonathan. Well, not also known as Rikus, aka Jonathan. Any. I have a couple of names. To my right is my spirit animal, and probably a lot of people ask if it's Dricus, but on the same weight management routine as Paddy the Baddy. Niel Duplessis, Dricus' brother. Bro, thank you for coming in and playing along with us in this little bit of a experiment.
Thank you.
And then of course we've got the current middleweight champion of the UFC and the world, Rikus Stolnox Duplessis. Lekker bro.
Lekker.
Welcome. Thank you for sitting here. Sorry, I thought we were going to have a beer, but you, again, as per the normal routine that you follow, it's in your throat and stomach. Already we order now. We'll get a new one.
Thank you.
Obviously, people who know me and we are all Afrikaans actually, but we're going to try this one in English because there's apparently a couple of international viewers that wants to know what we're saying, which is irritating, but we understand it and we will accordingly try our best. I'm probably going to injure myself. I mean, you trained with this a bit more. You out of a professional perspective a bit better. I'm not really good with this. English is challenging for Afrikaans speaking people, well, for me.
Well, I mean, your name is Rikus, and I think for this whole experiment, we will refer to you as Jonathan, as it is more English. So maybe your character can be more English.
But my character struggles to be the Afrikaans character. Switching to English, I might tear a hammy or something critical. For our people, international guys who sorry, my tenses are going to be fucked. It's not going to be a proper. If you don't understand, we'll try and put some. I almost said lyrics. We'll probably put the dubbing, do the subtitles and the dubbing there. Please help me as I struggle with this journey. If you come to South Africa and you want to see Afrikaans people in South Africa, remember we have 11 official languages, and not only white people speak Afrikaans. Actually, the majority of Afrikaans-speaking people are not white. But if you want to spot a typical white Afrikaans people, look for people wearing camo.
Yeah.
In the cities, in the countries. There we
Even
go.
the super dry is camo.
Even the super dry is a bit camo-ish. I love camo. I have a special section in my. I mean, we will wear camo to church, Afrikaans people.
In some churches you have to.
Yeah. If we were not afraid that people might not see us and ask like, where were you? I was like, I was there. I was just wearing my gear. I've been to a couple of shops like Woolies in Pretoria. When you go and check out, you would think you are at the pot plant section, just in the queue with all the camo clothing, wanting to just pay. But yeah, guys, what we're trying to do is we want to do a casual fight chat type of vibe. That's why the name may change, the format may change a bit. Well, no, not really. We want to do it our way. We want to do it loosey-goosey. Just if there's a couple of fights coming up, if there was an event coming up or a past events within the mixed martial arts / fighting scene, whatever.
Yeah, well, when we got this idea, the way I thought of it was we, as South Africans, not necessarily everybody knew, but 2 years ago, I would say maybe 1,000 people knew about the UFC and was actually following the UFC, as myself and Cameron were busy going through the ranks of the UFC, and more people started watching the sport, mainly because they are supporting the South African boys.
Yeah.
And now we have a world champion, we have up and coming champion in Cameron Simon. And now people are watching the sport, not only when myself or Cameron fights. People are watching the sport because now they've learned to enjoy the sport and what an incredible sport it is. So now we are, in South Africa, we have rugby, cricket, soccer. We have all these sports where you have people breaking down the sports on Super Sport. You have, with the rugby, you have the shows with professional people giving the insights on the technical side of the game, and what they think is the best and what the mistakes are and why certain things happen. Yeah. So I think in my mind and what my role in this would be was to give a technical perspective from my point of view as a professional to educate people more on the sport and to help people understand why we think a certain person is going to win a fight. And we're not always, me and him, we very rarely agree on.
I love it.
On who's going to win the fights. So I think getting this perspective and Fat Dricus over here also was a professional MMA fighter. Had a couple of professional fights. So he trains it. He understands the sport. So we don't, not only speaking as fans of the sport, but from a bit more of a technical point of view. You've been involved in this sport now for quite some time. Yeah. You love the sport. So
I'm just a fan because I know fuck all. I'm just gonna.
You understand the sport now because you've been there. You were in the corner. You were seeing it up close, and now. I am a professional, in fact.
So I think I represent the guy at home. We see stuff. We sometimes forget the names, but we know the faces. We start to see. Okay, this guy's the style. I represent I'm the fan. I'm the stupid guy. I know you guys, and you educate me a crap load. I love especially when before the fight we have a little group for the people out there, and we lie in bed and we watch the fights or whatever, and then we start. What do you think about this guy? What do you think about that guy? And we thought, why not do the casual chat? Maybe do a couple of live fight reactions.
Yeah, because I look at myself and the sports. I love motorsports. I love MMA. I love rugby. I love most sports, but it's hard for me to really enjoy a sport if I don't understand it.
Yeah.
For me, I think educating people and seeing insights from somebody that is within the sport, I think it's going to make the sport that much more interesting, and people might see something that they heard, and that's going to be a lot more fun because more people are going to be educated in the sport and understand why they are rooting for a certain guy, not just because he has the red pants and they like it.
Yeah.
And
the cool walkout song.
Yeah. So now people are going to actually start following guys and actually start following the sport, not just in terms of looking at these guys, I like this guy's hair, I don't like this, but because they know and understand the styles and the differences each guy brings to the table.
Can you please tell everybody that's watching who you backed? Everybody knows you backed not Ngannou.
Did you not back Ngannou?
Okay, well, listen.
No, say it like it is, Nate.
Did you see? I'm the first.
I saw.
If you had to understand that, when I saw Renan, I've met Franz Ngannou. I have all the respect in the world for the man. But if you see him, he is massive.
Yeah. Look, he looks like a cell phone tower. He's incredible.
Like Franz Ngannou, I met him. He made me look like the smallest guy. I felt like a featherweight. But then you see Renan Ferreira facing off with Ngannou, and he makes Ngannou look small.
Yeah.
And my bad.
Yes, but
I'm really happy for Ngannou. And also that being out for so long, being out for that long, we know he's been through a lot of things. To come back like that, that just shows you the character of a champion.
You think he'll ever fight Jones?
No.
That fight has to happen. Come on, in some alternate view, maybe at the end. Look, I think there's a lot of debate going on. I kind of like, we were all like, there's one guy and that's Jones. Now, with Aspinall coming in, it's like, maybe. I don't remember you and me at this discussion.
I don't need to see that fight.
No, that's my point.
It's completely fine. I don't need to see that fight. Completely fine. I love both. I think Jones at this stage of where MMA is the GOAT.
Yeah, 100%.
At this stage, and Aspinall's just a new gen coming through, and Jones has made new gen guys look
very bad.
Very bad a lot of times. I just don't think it's necessary anymore, because at some stage something's got to give. Jones is nearing the end, just in terms of age and everything. He doesn't need to do this anymore. So,
But you're a huge Stipe fan.
I love Stipe. I met him there at
he's the nicest guy.
He's such a nice guy. Yeah, but realistically,
no, it's not going to happen. Once he's 42.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a bit of a tough one.
No, it's like,
would it entertain you at all if Tom Aspinall had to fight Stipe now? Would you think it's
no? I don't need that. I don't need that fight at all.
I think it doesn't make sense. What for what?
I honestly don't need to see the Stipe and Jones fight either. I'm going to watch it, but I don't need to see it.
Do you think it's just John Jones' approach to embarrass DC one more time?
Yeah, that's probably going to be.
Look, okay, before we go into the whole card that's coming up in Abu Dhabi this weekend, which is 308. Just in terms of where South African MMA is currently, you guys obviously, because if one person phones me one more time and says, listen, I know you, so therefore I must surely know when the UFC is coming to South Africa. And it's like, you guys don't even know what's going on. There's a lot of moving parts here. So just maybe Niel, you just give us a breakdown where we are. What's the next step? Is it? I know if we can't say anything, we fucking delete it, no problem. But then, but just let's talk and decide what we're gonna delete or what's fine or what we're gonna leave out.
Yeah, I'm. We are bringing it here. It's just the timing on it. There's a lot of things that need to happen. Now you think, why don't we just make the UFC speak to this guy, and they meet, and we fight here?
But love doesn't work like that.
No, it's not like that. Just the sheer amount of, and that's why the UFC is the leader in MMA. It's quite a vigorous process to get that event. Yeah, there's a lot of things. You have to look at in terms of fighter safety, facilities. That's just a couple of things to take into consideration, the traveling arrangements, all that to make this happen. And then, of course, the biggest hurdle we in South Africa at this moment is facing is we don't have a big enough arena. We have enough stadiums, but we don't have a single roofed stadium. We don't have a single stadium, and the UFC won't even look at it. They won't even consider the fact that we can do it open air. Understandably so.
Respectfully so, yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
If you put an event like that, the amount of money, the amount of arrangement, and the UFC is not a one-time thing. This is something, they figure this out. I mean, you know all about that. Like, you know the systems, when you have a business model that works, don't change it.
100%.
And that's why. So, but everything is in motion. Everything is working. There's not a single thing that's been said by them that they want.
Negative,
That's been where South Africa has gone. We can't do it. Yeah. No, every single time we said, oh, okay. How are we going to do this? Got a solution. How are we going to do this? We are definitely capable of doing this, and we are en route to make this happen. For me as an athlete, I'm 30 years old. I'm a young champion. I want to fight. I don't want to sit around wait for a year just to make that event. And yeah, of course, it's one of my ultimate life goals to fight and bring the UFC to South Africa. But I can't sit around for a whole year not fighting just because of that.
No.
So,
100%.
And also, just to add on that, as a fan, obviously, of his work, I'm like, listen, guys, the story is just starting.
Yeah, I agree.
There's still a lot of people that's gonna get embarrassed.
Especially in this division, bro.
Exactly.
There's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, the middleweight division is exciting one at this stage.
I think it's like South Africans are very excited about the next one. But we don't have to do the next one. It has to come.
The right one.
It has to come. Easy would have been perfect, but obviously there's different stuff at play.
Yeah.
But I mean,
when the time is right, it's going to be amazing.
It's just a start of his title defense run, and I believe there's going to be still a lot of cool fights. And
100%.
when it comes, it's going to be amazing. Like South Africans are just so. It's so nice to say they are so passionate about it. They just want the UFC here because they want to go check it live. And this was a country that 2 years ago didn't watch.
I think our reference that we have, and with all the respect to the people, and I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
You think it's like, like there's a rugby game at the Rikus Stadium and there's like 8 cameras, so 2 buses is fine. But when I went to the 3 events down the road, and
because you understand that area. I just
like
see cameras.
media
You
part.
understand like the amount of things that go into making that show happen.
It's really impressive. The content, the media, the gear, the team, the time management, the flow. It's a fucking impressive. They know their shit.
No,
there's a reason why these guys are where they are. And to get all of those equipment flown in, it's a fucking nightmare. I can only imagine. It's not 2 GoPros and 2 mic sets. It's a mood of a setup. So be patient, guys, but it's coming.
It's going to come. It's going to come.
It's going to come.
Now, at this stage, what we need to focus on, myself, even you, me as current champion, needs to focus on, retaining that belt and making us undeniable. That's the only thing that I'm worried about right now.
Cool, let's talk fights.
Let's
okay,
go.
fight card coming up this weekend. A very exciting one. Fuck, man, I'm such a fan of Robert Whittaker.
Can we start this off by you saying, just comparing Max versus Ilya? Or are we going to go a different way around?
You just want to kick it off with the main event. Let's go, bro.
Sorry.
Thanks, cheers, let's go.
It's an emotional chat.
Yes. Sorry for bringing it up like that, sorry.
But maybe we can absorb it and work it, let the gears run a bit, and then let's just start lower, because as we go along, maybe,
why don't we just start with that fight in the early prelims?
because then we can talk 2 hours, which we can. But people still have to work well. They say they do. Are we going to run through the prelims as well, or are we only going to run the?
No, let's do the main cards. See how.
Where we go. Okay, what is your opinion on Shara Magomedov? The guy with the great eye. He must be a good shooter though.
Yeah. It's probably what happened.
Fucking, I hope he doesn't understand English. He'll kick my ass.
Okay, so with Shara Magomedov, I think the man is yet to be proven wrong. I think in the middleweight division, a very exciting prospect because you get all these Russian fighters, Dagestani fighters, all of them, and you know what you're going to get. A guy that's an amazing wrestler, some has some striking, some power. They can knock you out, but that's not their style. Now you get a guy from that region which goes,
entertaining.
Hey, I'm not here. And make no mistake, you say that, and a lot of people understand that, and that's a critical point why I think a show like this is going to be amazing. Because people don't understand why these people are on the ground, what are they doing? And a lot of people go, no, it's entertaining when they're standing up. Well, not for me. For me, the stand-up's entertaining, but seeing guys on the ground that know what they're doing, that has such special abilities on the ground in wrestling, that is the most beautiful thing in the world. Because I don't think other people understand how hard that part is. But with him coming out there, not being a wrestler, that's very odd because he doesn't wrestle at all. Yeah. He defends takedowns very well because you can imagine coming from that region how good of training partners he's had to defend takedowns. And he has incredible striking. Striking is really good. I don't see him having crazy power.
Yeah.
His power, but maybe, he's still settling in, he's new to the UFC, but I'm impressed. I'm impressed with him. I think
he has an entertainment value.
He has absolutely, and also he hasn't been finishing guys the whole time, just with like crazy finishes, but he's been making it look easy in terms of just out fighting guys.
Neil, I must say I don't know his opponent that well.
Amon Petrosian.
We can say his name however we want. I
can't read. I just don't know.
So you are backing the Pirate.
I am backing the Pirate.
Okay. Breakfast bet that is. I'll take it. I'm going to take Petrosian.
Do you know anything about him?
Not really, not that much, but I know he does do good takedowns. I think that's why.
He has that. Petrosian. Listen, good fighter. I just think the momentum and the hype that the Pirates coming in, Magomedov is coming in with, it's going to be hard to stop because he's going to have all the confidence in the world.
I love how we've been talking about this guy for 2 minutes and he already has a nickname, the Pirate. I love it.
that is really his fight, man. That's his fight.
The Red Pirate.
Yeah, that's the Red Pirate.
Okay. Is it really his fight?
I promise.
Fuck, okay, now I don't feel bad.
Yeah,
okay, the Red Pirate.
We didn't make the joke.
But he wasn't the Red Pirate.
No, it's just Pirate.
He's now the Red Pirate. The Carrot.
Recommendation from this side.
just something to listen to.
Him ever. Okay, so I also agree with you. I think Shara will do that. Obviously, a lot of guys always think like, okay, that guy's only stand-up, but they forget that the fact that the guy's knowledge is so good that he can block takedowns.
That's the thing.
That's a skill. And obviously, he's a ginger, so he has power. So he will obviously try and...
He's ready to rumble.
Yes.
So, 100%, you look at a guy like that, he's not only a striker. The amount of wrestling he must do because he knows if he's on the ground, that's not his area. So for him to be able to implement his game plan, if you look at a guy like Israel Adesanya, who I fought, what made him so great for so long was the fact that they could take him down, but he could get back up. He could defend everything that these wrestlers threw at him. He fought a guy like Raul Romero, Robert Whittaker, incredible wrestlers. A guy like Marvin Vittori was great on the ground, getting those takedowns. Derek Brunson, just to name a couple of guys, nobody could take him down. And that's what made him so good. That's why he could implement his striking strategy. I was able to take him down, and I was able to match him in his striking with my, call it awkward and unorthodox style, and catch him with that, then make, I could hang with him on the feet, but I always knew where I'm going to be much stronger than him, where my path to victory, an easier route to victory, was taking him down.
Yeah.
And that's what, up in this stage, Magomedov has been great at not getting taken down, and that's why I'm going to back him.
Okay. And Neil, you're obviously going the other way.
on
Okay.
my introduction.
The light heavyweight bout just after that, obviously, Ankalaev, I think is going to be the favorite there.
Yeah, Goliath is probably, interesting. He had this match set up before they made the Khalil round 3 fight, which Khalil obviously showed us that he deserved that fight. But I mean, as a number 8 ranked guy, you don't really get a title shot unless. And Ankalaev was at that stage, in my opinion, the obvious number 1 contender. But I don't know why they didn't give him that fight, or was this fight already signed? But Alexander Rakic, he's
got power.
He's got power. He's got knockout power. We saw him against Yuri Prochaska, and he did good. He was in that first round. He did great with the low kicks. He did great with everything. But I just don't think he has anything to offer for Ankalaev when it comes to the wrestling and grappling exchanges. I just don't see that happening. No way.
I agree with that. Yeah.
How do you see Ankalaev and Jamal go?
Ankalaev as well.
He needs to get him down to the ground quickly.
But Jamal has got heavy hands.
He's got Jamal, who's got very heavy hands. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of his hands. Of his fighting style too. But I mean, yeah, Jamal Hill. You can say what you want. When you look at Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira, who was such a great
Exceptional
wrestler and grappler, Jamal Hill was handling those exchanges like a champ.
I think we get caught in this trap where we think, Jamal Hill is now done and stuff, but we forget how fucking good Alex Pereira is. That guy is such a dominating force.
Yeah, I mean, no matter who you are in the world, like if he catches you clean like that, you're gonna go down. That's how it works.
So we're on a split.
Unless your name is Dricus, of course.
I'm not backing Rakic. I'm not backing Rakic. I'm backing.
I think I'm going with Ankalaev with a more all-around game, and I think Rakic is in great shape. He always is, and I heard people that fight him say he's so big, but Ankalaev is also a big man. He's a big guy. I've sit next to him. He's quite a big dude.
Yeah, no, they all are pretty big. Okay, the other one is Leon Murphy versus Dan Ige. We had this discussion because we were putting up sports bet thing, and I think that's maybe an upset according to you.
Yeah.
I don't claim it, but I'll use your advice.
That's my upset for the event.
Well, listen, I like Danny. I remember him just taking that fight against
Lopez.
Diego Lopez, who's an absolute superstar. Just made it look easy against Brian Ortega. Wow. He took it he took it on the same day. But Brian Ortega couldn't show up. They phoned Danny Gay. He says, okay, I'm at her house. I'm driving to the arena now. Gets there, weighs in, 2 hours before the fight. Here we go.
So that counts for something.
That counts for something. That's what you call a real fighter.
He's quite possibly going to be the new featherweight division contender, Diego Lopez.
Diego Lopez is definitely a contender conversation.
One division higher.
And I mean, listen, the craziest thing with this is a 3-round fight. The first round, Diego Lopez did great. As the fight progressed, it was a close decision.
Yeah.
As the fight progressed, Dan Ige started, without any cap, not even.
But Lopez is a fucking good fighter.
He's amazing. So
he's very good.
As we're speaking about this now, I'm starting to go back to Dan Ige again. But
yeah,
Lerone Murphy is an exceptional fighter. We have a classic, I think, great, because Dan Ige can strike. He's a really good striker. Lerone Murphy is really good at winning fights. He's not a big finisher. He's not a guy that, finishing guys left, right, and center. But he is, obviously his record's 4-0 with 1 draw. He's fought Ibsen Barboza, won that fight. That's a big and a decision. The man knows how to win the fight. I just,
So you're backing, who are you backing? I'm backing Dan Ige. You're backing?
I've changed my mind. I'm going with Dan Ige on this.
definitely Dan Ige.
Okay, I'm going Dan Ige.
That's the upset.
No, just because
I'm betting on
I don't know Lerone Murphy personally. I think he's a great fighter. I just think Dan Ige deserves a win after stepping up like that. Man deserves it.
Yeah. So guys, please don't. We're just telling you. I like putting the odd couple of bucks on something. I mean, look, this is a casual show. We're going to talk. We don't give a shit. We're going to say what we want and how, because this is how we talk around the brides and the barbecues and anyway, just with more booze.
Yeah, if you're going to bet multiples.
Yeah. But anyway.
I don't bet on fights,
Yeah, you can't. But I can.
but I do give my professional opinion.
But the cuck thing is, every time I listen to Neil, I'm like, bud, okay, give me your spread. And we discuss this for like half an hour. And he's like, trust me that one.
Neil, no, never. Neil only bets with his, like he has something.
Emotions.
He's the kind of guy that bets on a guy because he doesn't like his short color.
But that is exactly, no, can I mark it up for you here? But on the same time, criticize you. Well, I actually had to criticize my own fucking common sense because he comes with all the technical stuff and with stats and with graphs and
that's
shit.
what he does. That's what I'm.
You have to interpret with a calculator and a fucking book and do.
Because he knows, he understands that.
Exactly.
And then he go, but I'm going for the other guy.
Exactly. We'll get to that now because that's where we are. Because then I'm like, what? He's just like, but trust me, but this guy's like this and he's actually also because he does this way. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck him. I'm going against him as well. And we lose every fucking time. So, okay, let's go to this is the two main events, the main card and the. I mean, this is such a. Fuck, this is an emotional thing.
There's two fights.
Let's start with the co-main event. This Whittaker versus Chimaev. We are all such Rob fans.
Yeah, I mean, who's not? Everybody in the world's a Rob fan.
Just give people a bit of background how big of a Rob fan you actually are.
So with Robert Whittaker, I was, even before I was in the UFC, I always said, you can ask Neil, we always said, I know I'm going to fight him.
No.
Whether, I don't know how, that's how the route's going to go, whether it's going to be before. There was a stage where one of his opponents got injured, but I'm talking about, I'm 2 fights in my UFC career. And I said to my agents, I'll fight, I'll take that fight. I wasn't even ranked, I think. I said, I'll take that fight on a week's notice, cool. It didn't happen that way. And then, obviously got up. Usually how it works is, you go, you fight for the title, you lose against Izzy, you fight Robert Whittaker, you lose against him.
And then you...
That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's been like that for years. Because if you are gonna, Robert Whittaker can't lose against anybody else than the champion. That's for 10 years. So now, I was the guy who they go, okay, you're fighting Whittaker first.
Yeah.
And it didn't make a lot of sense because you're talking about a guy that Izzy and Whittaker for a very long time was there and the rest of the division was
100%.
here. They were the two, that's the benchmark. So then they could never do it, Whittaker fight you first because then they're never going to have another contender. They're just going to have Izzy and Whittaker fight each other. So when they gave me that fight, I said, of course, let's go. Here we go. I knew that was going to be the fight that's going to elevate me to the... And, Whittaker for me, as a person, as an example of hard work, training, adversity, all the things, and how he's been doing what he has, I've just always been, a massive, massive Whittaker fan. So when I fought Whittaker, and when he got into the octagon, I thought, he's so cool. I thought, this is amazing, sharing the octagon with him. So I've always been a massive fan still. I'm even after meeting him and, sharing the octagon with him now, I'm even more of a fan. Just because such a solid guy, amazing, amazing athlete.
What a gentleman.
You can see a great father, great person. He's hilarious. I just laugh at him. He's, watching his shows.
His chirps is amazing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Everybody loves Rob. But then of course, you have Chimaev, who's the so-called boogeyman or self-proclaimed boogeyman.
I know you love him.
Yeah, big fan.
I mean, if somebody doesn't like Rob, I'm afraid I can't break bread with that person.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't do business with you, I can't talk to you.
There's no way.
There's no way. There's something wrong. You have some skeleton in the closet or something.
But then, of course, you have Kamzat, who, up until this point, nobody's been able to beat. There's been great holes shown, like, for example, never showing up for a fight.
Okay, but before we say so awesome and amazing, I mean, we have to go back to the Burns fight. The Gilbert Burns that was the first time, because I also thought Chimaev was like, okay, we have to check this guy. But Burns showed me like the tank is not there. And I think Burns won that fight.
Definitely.
That's.
I thought so. And
it was
agree, then I'm happy.
No, listen, with the Burns fight, it was a super close fight. I think Kamzat won the first round for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely Burns dropped him in that second.
Yeah.
And then the third round, it was a close fight. I might have been a little bit biased in terms of I was there live. I was there live in Jacksonville.
That's
and I watched the fight, and it was so incredible. It was such an entertaining fight. And I've trained with Gilbert Burns. He's an amazing guy. He's a super cool guy. Also a massive fan. He's really one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in the sport. So I've trained with him. I've learned from him. He's an incredible guy. Even in the gym, he's so good. And I thought he won the fight. So the fight was close. I went to go watch it again. It was a super close fight. Khamzat had his moments. Burns had his moments. But Khamzat is going to be the bigger guy. Rob is a bit shorter, stocky. He's not a small guy. I think Khamzat is a lanky, tall. I think he's coming in as the bigger guy in this fight.
Look, I saw photos on social media, and the
big.
guy is big.
It looks
The
big.
guy
No,
is
he's
ripped.
obviously.
I just want to remind you, Robert Whittaker defended Yoel Romero twice, right?
Yeah, look, I'm a Whittaker fan. I'm with you on this one. We just
I'm just saying, I'm wondering whether wrestling alone, and
Is
I know
enough.
nobody in the UFC, especially at that level,
Can
is
just
one
wrestle.
thing. But I brought like I obviously presume that he's gonna rely on his wrestling quite a lot, and I don't think just wrestling is gonna kill Whittaker. Whittaker's also a fit guy. Like,
Yeah,
he's
that's the
always
thing with
fit.
Whittaker. Like, he's shown many times how he can go. And that's why I'm so happy that they said this is going to be a 5-round fight. That changes everything.
That changes everything. Eh?
When they said it's a 3-round fight, I honestly said, this is not good. This is not good for Rob. When they made it a 5-round fight, their whole situation
Entire
changed.
game changer.
The
Because
entire game
obviously Whittaker has the gap. We know if there's a hole that we can predict or what we can foresee, it is the cardio of Chimaev. Because I think he's in that weird spot where if he's a weight down, he has incredible strength and he dominates. But the weight up, he looks a bit like, okay,
Well, I
if
mean,
it's going to be 5 rounds,
the best first-round fighter in the world, that's what they call him, and rightfully so. I get a lot of shit for my cardio, but I still, go and
Now
finish
you have a
guys.
nose. So
And but I mean, we saw with the Kamaru Usman fight, and this is where things are, because
yeah,
Kamaru Usman is a smaller guy than Khamzat Chimaev,
yeah.
especially at middleweight. And Kamaru Usman on 10 days' notice, and he literally said he was sitting on the couch, and they found him. He wasn't training, and that was a 3-round fight, and you could have easily given that fight to Kamaru Usman. First round, once again, Khamzat. Round 2, definitely Kamaru. Round 3, I had Kamaru winning.
Yeah.
You could have gone either way again. And that showed you once again, and this is a guy who wasn't in a camp, so that's where it comes. My biggest concern in this fight is I think the strength factor I'm going to give to Khamzat Chimaev. I think for the first round, maybe 2, round and a half, Rob is going to have to be very smart in his approach. Maybe use his distance, use his blitzes, not get taken down.
Yeah, I think that's
Easier
that's
said
the
than done.
thing,
If he can, because you have to understand that Khamzat's going to have a reach advantage for sure. Use your blitzes, which he does so well, and push the pace. That's what makes it hard. You don't want to get involved in a brawl because then you're in that range of getting clipped or getting taken down. But you have to. You have to, but you have to be very wary. And Rob's an incredible team. He's seen it all. So I honestly think that him and his team have trained for this specific scenario because he needs to push the pace to be able to get Khamzat because Khamzat likes a high-pace fight. And Rob needs to embrace that high pace and survive for that first 2 rounds and then start implementing his strategy to make sure that he wins the second half of that fight.
Do you think, Neil, do you think that Khamzat is going to, from the word go, I think that should be his strategy, from the word press. Close that, go for a takedown early,
Absolutely, that's
as
the way
quick
he
as you
fights.
can. So it's going to be fucking exciting to see.
It's going to be amazing.
Ding, 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 let's go.
I don't think there's any other game plan that he would try and
Implement,
follow
yeah.
except for killing him in the first round and then trying to get past round 2 and 3.
Yes, and Rob can clip you.
And 4 and 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he can do his best with 2 and 3 would be something new to us.
Okay, I know this is going to come now, so let me give you my prediction.
Please? Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay, let me just hear first, okay?
I want Rob to win
I can't listen to this.
because I like him so much and I'm a fan. I have faced Robert Whittaker before and I have so much admiration for how he just came back, 1-2 fights. And like I said, in my opinion, I think he deserves the next shot. I mean, if he beats Khamzat, he for sure, in my opinion.
Undeniable, yeah.
Yeah, but
I think whoever wins, they're definitely going to knock
either
him.
way, I mean, it's the UFC, they make the fights, I don't care. Whoever gets in there, I'll just beat them. So it doesn't matter to me in that case. But I have fought him before. What I would love is to fight Khamzat and be the first guy to beat him.
Okay, but
I'm a fan. I respect that. I just
So
don't
it's
think.
the one is, with my heart, and the other one is me as an athlete and thinking about my career, that I would love to be the first guy to beat Kamzat. And I know I can beat Kamzat. So
isn't it crazy, huh? Like being a fighter compared to like someone that loves it. Like
100%.
I would like to order Kamzat Chimaev. That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, that's weird. Because listening to it, it's like I can't even make eye contact with you right now. But I understand what you're saying. Yeah. So prediction as a person, as a human with a heart. Okay, I'm not going to put you on it further. No, I mean I understand.
I'm going to go Robert Whittaker.
Okay, thank you. Sanity prevails.
Decision?
Definitely. Yes. I think decision.
Imagine this Robert Whittaker gets out there. Imagine Robert Whittaker gets out there and knocks him out cold.
That would be special. That will definitely, if then I have no doubt that he'll have a title shot.
Yeah,
no doubt.
For sure, but yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, my decision is made on really, I like Robert Whittaker more.
No, exactly. Well, we all like Robert Whittaker a lot more. And you as well. Okay, cool.
You don't have a choice, you like him.
Okay.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Why am I the guy that drink transparent drinks and I'm the fattest of all three of us in the worst shape? And you guys drink beer.
White alcohol for alcoholics.
I take offense. With a straw. And delicate. My body is my temple. I try and...
Sorry.
Okay, guys, now the emotions are gonna...
Okay, here we go.
I just want to break it down to the people. I mean, you and Ila your journey, and that's why you have kind of a bond.
Yes.
People don't know that.
We
just share, yeah.
Yeah, so myself and Ilya, we had a very, very similar trajectory. In fact, you can't even get more of a similar trajectory. We made our debut on the exact, and I think we are 2 years difference in age. 2 years, I think, year and a half, 2 years, around there. Yeah, he's maybe a year or two younger than me. We made our debuts both on short notice in 2020, October 2020, Fight Island in Abu Dhabi. We shared the dressing room before. He was the fight just before me. Before I went out, he fought, then I fought. He won his fight. He was big underdog, won his fight. Same with me, won the fight. And then I couldn't fight for a year because of COVID. And he had another fight. Then his third fight, my second fight, was on the Conor McGregor card. I think it was either that one or the next one. He fought on the same card. So we've been on 4-5 fight cards together. But where it gets interesting, I was ranked number 11, he was ranked number 11. He fought number 9, I fought number 9. We've made our debuts on the same card. And we had our top 5 fights, same fight night, same card. When I fought for the top 5, he fought for the top 5.
How sexy fight card is that?
Yes, bro. So this is us just coming up. And we ended up, I fought Robert Whittaker the month before or after he fought. Did he fight to become
Emmett.
Yeah, Josh Emmett. Just a month before or after he fought Emmett. And it ended up that he was the main event fighting for his belt in February of 2024. And I was in January. So we made our debut on the same card, fought on 4 or 5 cards together. Same trajectory, going up in the rankings. And we ended up fighting for our titles 4 years later. In just 3 years later, 3.5 years later on the same, within a month out of each other. So that's a pretty cool, so we've met each other many times, and amazing guy, awesome guy, the man's amazing. He's a superstar. He's a superstar in the way he carries himself. Right? His team is amazing. We have been talking that I'm going there and doing a little camp there. Not a fight camp, but go there, spending some time there, training with them. I love the way he fights. I love the way they do things. He's also from a place where they don't produce champions. Yeah. Being from his gym, and now they're on the mat. I think this is the very same trajectory that we at CIT, a small gym in Pretoria, which is now a world-class gym delivering world-class athletes. And it has been, we just weren't seen. And it's the same with his gym. His brother's making his UFC debut now too. Yeah. And so we've become friends in that way. And, not only that, the fact that the way he fights, going out there and beating Volkanovski, which I thought was in the way he did. The way he did it, tapping out Bryce Mitchell, who's a peer grappler, refusing. He could have beaten Josh Emmett a lot quicker than he did. In terms of, you could take him down
He wanted to
he
make a
wanted to
point.
stand and bang, and
Yeah.
he did it. I mean, Josh Emmett stiffens people, and he was just like, "Let's go," and he made it the brawl. I think he's an incredible fighter. He's a good fighter, and then of course, with this fight, I'm just going to go straight into it. Fighting Max Holloway.
Okay, but before the emotions start, I mean, we had a discussion this morning. We were like, I think you were actually running. Now this was pre-beer, and we spoke about the bond that you guys have, and I told him like, for me, he represents this new age of this MMA generation where we always had this style versus style. Was a grappler, wrestler, no neck, nice ears, versus this guy with reach and the striking ability, or for me it seems like there's a shift where the all-rounder, the MMA athlete, is now the dominating factor.
I always tell that to people. I 100% agree with you, and I think myself and Ilya was that next step. You had Izzy, who's a
I mean,
pure
it's a
strike.
TV game.
And then you had Volkanovski, who's he's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
He can strike, but his wrestling is always going to be his, and he's proven that many times. But then you have Ilya, who striking is incredible, can wrestle and can grapple. I think it's 100% that you say it represents a shift in an era, an era change.
Yeah, and to amplify on that, it was so for the stand-up fighters, the style versus style argument. It just so happened to be that he beat Izzy, and Sugar Sean lost to Merab.
Yeah.
So that's when it was kind of facilitated or confirmed that listen, only striking it's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough. Like you need to be a well-rounded fighter.
Absolutely.
And we see a lot of Ilya's content that he puts out, the way he trains and stuff. I think it's very similar.
Very similar.
And it's like MMA, like kill someone. That's it. Like, I don't think their gym like considers going to decisions. And we're going to see this weekend because did you see Ilya said he's going to start the fight
10 seconds.
10
He wants a
seconds.
point down in the first 10 seconds.
But and now we had a discussion now with the Gaethje fight, and just to piss on people's batteries a bit, just because you guys said it repetitively because I want to cry. Where were you seated with the Max Holloway Gaethje fight?
Yeah, it was UFC 300. Obviously, they wanted me to fight in that card. They really wanted to, but I was injured, so I just couldn't. I mean, saying no to opportunity like that, it hurts as a fighter. UFC 300, not only if you look at the amount of pay-per-views it would have done, but it's just, that's a milestone event. So for me as a fighter, it was really hard not to take that fight, but I had to make the smart move for my career. Happy now that I didn't, but and I got to go to that event. I was at that event, myself and Niel, and we said, cage side, maybe. I mean, we could feel the blood.
The only guy that could sit before us was Bruce Buffer.
He did sit in front of us, right? It was amazing, but that whole event, everybody just showed up. And then, of course, talking about Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje in that fight.
He loves that shit, guys. Justin
Gaethje.
I love him as well. I backed him.
Some people said.
Did you back him?
I don't want to answer.
Okay, no, but I mean, I was like, I love both. I backed him.
He was the lightweight. Max Holloway has not always performed as good as he does on lightweight as he did at featherweight. We saw it with the Dustin Poirier fight too.
Yeah.
And then Dustin Poirier beat Max, I think twice, at lightweight. Then Justin Gaethje goes and knocks out Dustin Poirier in the second round.
Exactly.
MMA man.
And then it's Max. So that's why I'm a very big Justin Gaethje fan. Just, he's a guy.
I know he also looks like a lag. It looks like if it looks like we can all be friends.
Yeah.
He looks like that type of guy.
Just goes out there, swings for the fences, and that's the way I like to think I fight.
Yeah.
I go out there, and when I fight, I'm not in there to.
You're for the role.
To go, and people always say you need to be more, look to be more conservative with your energy. No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna, because I don't train the way I train.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people say that. And I said, spend the camp with me, and you'll understand why I fight the way I fight. Because you have no idea how I train, and that's the way I train. Full speed all the time, and I know because that's the way I fight, and that's the way I think people deserve to see that when they pay the amount of money they do to go watch a fight, to be entertained and watch finishes. That's how I train. And I feel the same with Gaethje. That guy never takes his foot off the gas. He just goes and he tries to knock his opponents out. He's a wrestler. You know, he's a college wrestler. He's a great wrestler.
Amazing.
Doesn't wrestle. Uses wrestling to not get taken down and bang. Yeah. Love it. And then, of course, that fight, UFC 300, when Max Holloway delivered.
Incredible.
And
I yelled. I think people next to me, and that's the weird thing, because the last 3 fights was Whittaker, your fights, Whittaker, Strickland, and Izzy. So I was there. So this is I think all the other people tell me how much they yell when you won, because it was early in South Africa. But I think people next to me, especially because you didn't fight, thought there was a murder when that knockout happened. It was like, what in the... It almost looked fake.
It can't be.
This can't be.
It wasn't like a knockout. It looked like he killed him.
It looked like a sniper shot. It was like, cheers.
It was.
And it was after that, when I promise you, we were sitting, I was talking to Rikus about how crazy this is, and I just heard his head goes against the ground.
No, man.
Because
knockout.
And Max did this. When Max did this, I said, Gaethje is definitely for this point and go.
Yeah.
And they started throwing, and Niel turned to me and he goes, how crazy is that? I said, it's amazing. And as we looked back, just saw Gaethje do it.
And that's where I swore an oath to myself that I'm never going to be in a position where I'm not backing Max Holloway.
Okay, but now.
Okay,
I know.
That's the dilemma.
Why did you just say that? Is that?
He'd said it.
Okay.
That's what we had the discussion this morning. I was like, because I almost felt like when I saw it, I was like, yeah, you learn.
But Max Holloway
something
is,
now,
and I'm just going to say, remember, Max made his debut at 20.
Yeah.
I saw a photo of him and Dustin Poirier fighting each other on debut. It looked like two hood teenagers that's going to throw down. And that was at featherweight. That was a featherweight bout. And it's crazy. I mean, he's been in there for so long. And people forget because he was off for a while and then he got beaten 3 times by 2 times where it could have gone either way. And the 3rd time he got beaten by Volkanovski. And
we still had hair.
Yeah, no, not this 3rd time.
Did you ever watch the fight between Max Holloway and Conor McGregor? That was Conor's, I think, his 2nd or 3rd fight in the UFC.
Yeah, that was Conor
McGregor's.
McGregor's.
Quite a while. I mean, that was
a while ago.
Yeah.
But if you go watch it now, it's like a crazy fight again. Then it just shows you how traverse Max is in fighting. Like it's crazy. When he went with Conor, nobody wants to stand with Conor for he held himself well.
Yeah, but Conor did, pop his knee in the 2nd round of that fight. Remember, he got
That's what
ACL
makes it
surgery.
that what makes it so crazy.
No, it was an incredible fight.
Okay, let's get to the point. Predictions and how. Because we can talk about this for a few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
it's the fight this Saturday.
I'm gonna say I love Max Holloway. I love Ilia Topuria.
Here it comes with the emotions again.
No, I love both of them.
Yeah.
But I'm going with my boy Ilia on this one. I think Max Holloway and not only self-proclaimed, has proven that he says the best boxer in UFC, one of the best, for sure. That is incredible.
100%.
Cardio-wise, amazing. That's one thing where I have the upper hand is just when he pushes the pace and Ilia doesn't get that finishing shot. But I do think Ilia is hungry enough and has the right mentality and people around him to make the adjustments mid-fight to get it done.
So Ilia by knockout?
Nobody's even knocked Max Holloway down, and Gaethje kind of did. Well,
I have a weird feeling, man. I'm thinking Ilia has so much power.
I'm going Ilia knockout. I'm with you.
I'm with. Okay, cool. He's with me. Okay, bro. Now I want to hear this. And why? But no hocus pocus, Alex Pedaro voodoo shit. Normal explanation and prediction.
Firstly, I can't go against Max Holloway ever. This is my first.
Okay, so that's your prediction.
So that's your prediction.
I'm going with Max.
Oh,
wow. History.
Decision.
Max decision.
Decision.
Wow.
He's got.
In the world where it is Max
decision.
I'm going decision.
Because he's very tall. But we all said it about Justin Gaethje. We said if Gaethje doesn't finish him, Max on decision, and then Max
got
beat
finished,
Max.
Sure, but I mean,
Knocked him
that
out
was
in the first round.
but that was a crazy exchange. Like, I mean, here we go. That was a crazy exchange.
I think you can't take that as the norm.
Yeah,
You
that
can't
was amazing.
Yeah.
But you can't take that as the norm.
But that's the thing. Ilya is ready. Like he's.
That's what
going,
I'm
I'll
saying.
start.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I
Come,
think
let's
when
go.
they start
I know.
banging in the
That's
middle
my
of the,
point. That's
if
why I
they
think
start
it's a
banging
knockout.
like that, Ilya has the upper hand. Ilya has more power. For sure, he has more power. And I think Ilya has more. Max Holloway is longer, maybe faster. But I think when it comes to the boxing
That's
skill,
what I'm thinking.
mixing it up with the body shots, mixing it up,
And the short elbows. Yeah,
and
sorry.
I think mixing it up, I think Ilya, the way he rips that body with the left hook, come upstairs. I mean, Volkanovski has taken some big shots in his life. And Ilya didn't.
That
with the one
combo,
hand-
that combo.
And it was early in the fight. It wasn't like he was tired or anything. It was early in the fight. And he stiffened him. He didn't even know what was happening. Woo! This is going to be amazing. I'm
So
very excited.
Max decision.
Max decision.
Accept Ilya knockout.
Ilya.
Round?
Knockout.
So knockout, not
Third
TKO,
round.
knockout.
Third
four.
round. I'm going Ilya third round.
TKO
Yeah,
or
same,
knockout.
yeah. Just for
Third round. Yeah, I think also before, but not. I don't think it will be 4. It will be either 3 or earlier.
from a clinical point of view, like Ilya's head blocks, because I think Max is going to work.
What,
a lot
head
of
kicks?
head
Okay, yeah, but that's the other thing. So Ilya has been dropped with a couple of head kicks just in terms of his defense, but he knows that. And I think Max doesn't throw a lot of head kicks. He throws front kicks, but he doesn't throw a lot of head kicks. Max doesn't. He throws low kicks.
Did you know that the last person to give Ilya a difficult fight before his UFC stint, which made everything look easy,
Crazy.
was a South African?
South African Stephen Goncalves. He's in the EFC.
don't
They
know.
fought at Brave. I'll show you that fight. Stephen Goncalves. He fights in the EFC. I saw him as an amateur, and I was like, this guy has something because he's tough. And when they fought in Brave, Ilya
I
knocked
think
him
he's
out.
taller than us, right?
Yeah, he's not. Maybe I'll
Same,
for a
same one.
66.
Definitely taller than me.
He's for a guy at featherweight, and he kicked Ilya, dropped him flat.
What? How long ago was this?
This was just before this was Ilya's last fight before going to the UFC. He fought Stephen Goncalves, a South African guy who was good, but not
Consistent.
not a
That's great.
champion in the UFC even yet. He got a Brave contract, which is amazing for him. It's a great exposure to international, and he fought Ilya there. And
Just imagine.
Ilya, it was the first or second round, he head kicked Ilya and dropped him where it looked like the fight could have been stopped. Went for the finish, Ilya grabbed on and got back. He dropped Ilya again, and as they got up, Ilya just started banging. He caught him with the overhand and knocked him out. He knocked Stephen out.
So that tells you.
I mean, that shows you the fight game. I mean, Stephen Goncalves right now, amazing fighter locally, but Ilya's UFC champion of the world.
Yeah,
So
dominating,
this shows you
dominating.
how one punch can change everything.
but
in
that's
the
what I
sport.
love about MMA.
This is the fight game.
It's amazing. Guys, thank you for listening to the shit we just spoke. If you like this, tell us we should do it again. If you don't, please shut up. Or whatever.
If you have to say anything, tell us whether you love Max or not, and whether you're willing to go behind his back and back Ilia Topuria. I think it's amazing.
Behind his back. What is
Yes.
it?
There's so many.
What is this pleasure you and Max had?